Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Very excited to bring you this match between ShoWTimE and Dark from the round of 16 of BlizzCon 2018. Top left-hand corner, it is the blue Zerg player, it is the Korean player Dark. And in the bottom right-hand corner, number 2 in the WCS standings, it is ShoWTimE, the red Protoss player hailing from Germany. These players both qualified for the BlizzCon, which means they are among the top 16 players in the entire world. Alright, so it could be a ZVP, my favorite matchup in all of StarCraft 2. Dark is pretty darn heavily favored over ShoWTimE, just because he's ranked higher than him in the world standings, but ShoWTimE has been playing against Serral a lot recently in 2018, so we'll see if he learned any tricks from playing against Serral, the best Zerg player in the world at this point. Whew. Alright, so probe scouting is ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE has never been too proud to scout with a worker. He knows he needs the information that can be gleaned from a probe scouting. This early in the game, it's going to go ahead and see there's a hatch first from Dark, which means there's an extractor and a pool coming down, and he doesn't have to worry about Lings coming down and threatening his Nexus. And 385, 390, and 400, there's the Nexus. Out of ShoWTimE, exactly what you want to see. Overlord coming in for the scout on Dark. He has no idea what's coming. This could definitely be a cannon rush or some kind of otherwise proxy, but he's just going to roll with it, man. The number of Zergs that are like my slower lords are enough. Just it boggles the mind. It really does. There are times that I've drone scouted and seen a forge first and tried to react to it properly and still not been able to stop a cannon rush. So if you don't scout it, I don't know how these pros do it, but perhaps that is something I should learn and that will improve my game. Third hatch on the way here from Dark, natural base about to pop as well. Cybernetics core coming in from ShoWTimE, and otherwise not much going on here. Did you watch a lot of the BlizzCon? I always wonder about who watches the BlizzCon and then comes and watches the games here on my channel. Because I have to imagine, I don't know, do you guys, some people do say they enjoy my casting enough to put me up alongside players casters like Pig, casters like Fear Dragon, casters like Tastostis, who are obviously the all-time pinnacle to aspire to, is Artosis and Tasteless, but at the same time, maybe there are things that I do that you like more, things that I do that you like less. If someone's going to watch those games and then come check them out on my channel, I'd like to know why, so maybe you can explain that in the comments. It is a Stargate on the way here from ShoWTimE, so it could be Phoenix production, we could be going for an Oracle. In the early stages of the game, I would be shocked if Dark lost anything to an Oracle other than maybe one worker, which is fairly negligible. But we'll see. Adept going in for the scout, taking some shots. This Adept is fairly suicidal. I mean, she's going to get in the main base, get the scout off, go after some of these drones. And you know what? Does get a drone kill, does see no second gas, does see no Laren, sees no Roach Warren, and says, all right, good. We are good on this. It's going to be Lings for a while from Dark. This Overlord able to scout with impunity, because nothing can shoot up. It is a Phoenix first here from ShoWTimE, though, so the Overlord is going to die eventually, but not before scouting that second gateway, not before scouting. There is a Stargate, because, again, the Phoenix is going to kill it, so that's your tell. Obviously, that is you knowing what's going on. So Overlord going to die after several shots from this Phoenix. I never really noticed that the Phoenix shots come from, like, the way backside. It's definitely an interesting design choice on behalf of the designers. It is an Oracle. So the Oracle's name is Duck Goosatron 3000. Duck, Plasma Beams of Death. Another, double Stargate opening here from ShoWTimE. Interestingly enough, that's going to be good. This Phoenix going to take down another Overlord. That means additional Phoenix play is what this is. Double Stargate at this stage of the game means a lot of Phoenix, a big Phoenix flux flying around, which means Dark needs additional Spore Crawlers and additional Queens to deal with it. I'm not sure he's planning on doing that, though, is the thing. So we're going to be trying to see, is there a third base anywhere? No, there's no third base coming up for the Protoss player. And so that means something aggressive is on the way at this stage. At the 4.5 minute mark, if there's no third base, then it's an aggressive play, and that's what this double Stargate is going to be. Oracle trying to get some stuff done, does have a single kill. What you... Phoenix flying over to this direction, maybe going to try to kill an Overlord here, or at least force it back into the proximity of that Spore Crawler. Duck, Goosatron going to come back and make sure to protect this third base against any potential Ling harassment. There's not much available. Dark isn't planning on attempting to commit anything to kill this third base as it's coming up, which is just fine. And is that Phoenix? That Phoenix is alive. That Phoenix is alive. There are 4 of them. Okay, so yeah, hasn't lost a Phoenix yet. As this one's been running around getting some good scouting information, actually. Did not see the timing on that lair, unfortunately, but that's all right. Couple of Adepts coming in for the scout on the third base to see what we're dealing with, and it's a lot of Zerglings. Ooh. They're going to kill, actually, one of the drones, maybe, but the Zerglings and Queens, this is just an interesting choice to make that happen by ShoWTimE. I'm not sure if it was entirely worth it or not. So here's our Phoenix flock. Their names are Tim and Jerry. Not Tom and Jerry, Tim and Jerry. Zerglings coming in for the aggression. Duck Goosatron says, why don't you engage somewhere, Zerglings? We will kill all of you if you decide to stay. And the Lings decide, thank you not. We're not going to. Hydralisk then on the way. There's only a Spore here and a Queen. This is a really bad position for Dark right now. These drones are getting picked off and absolutely massacred. 3 drones so far. 4 drones. 6 drones. 7 drones down. And loses. Oh, nothing. None of these Phoenix die during that attack. What an amazing play. Out of ShoWTimE. Fantastic for sure. Third base gets established. Takes 7 drones down from Dark in the early stages of this game. Absolutely fantastic play from him. 18 out of 18 workers for Dark on this natural base. Really should go for a 4th at some point, but perhaps a little bit too busy making 16 Zerglings getting +2 attack. He wants to go for some Baneling harassment here. And it is. It is, in fact, a lot of Banelings trying to get in. Good pull. Great pull on these probes. Oh, the force fields are good. Look at this. The Banelings don't want to explode on the shield battery, but there's really nothing else for them to do. What a fantastic force field. Zergling's trying to get in, and no, getting shut down with more force field action. Oh no, the Banelings hit though! Oh, ShoWTimE thought he was safe. The Banelings were just there the whole time, and 15 probes go down just like that. Ouch! That was a huge play out of Dark. Incredibly damaging for the Protoss player there. It's 59 to 54 workers. Dark has taken a significant lead now in worker count after taking 16 down, trying to kill these Queens defending. Here at the third base, does manage to get one, swings back over to the natural base, forcing the Queen to respond to them hilariously. Nice transfuse on the Overlord. Another Overlord does get picked off here. The Phoenix having, I think, paying for themselves fairly well. Again, Zerglings trying to do stuff here between the bases, but the Zealots are a great choice. These Oracles are a fantastic choice too. Hydralisk production has begun from Dark. Is working on centrifugal hooks and speed for his Hydras. 4th base coming up for Dark here, just south of the main traditional 4th base location. A macro hatch coming up inside the main base too. And really just working on Hydra. That's kind of what you got to do, is have enough Hydralisks that the Phoenix don't feel brave enough to confront you directly. And then they always have to worry about it. Zerglings again trying to get in here to this third base. Once again getting rebuffed by the Zealots and the Sentries and whatnot. Picking off a probe, almost picking off a probe that's transferring there. Immortals are out. And where's the splash damage, man? I don't see any splash at all from ShoWTimE. He's working on a Templar Archives. So at some point he's got to go for Storm. But thus far, resources lost have been pretty similar. 27,100 lost for Dark compared to 1,900 for ShoWTimE. So pretty darn cost efficient from the Protoss, which is what they need to do in the early stages of this game. It's 70 to 66 workers. ShoWTimE has been doing exceptionally well on that worker count. Banelings rolling in. Can they connect on these probes at all? A couple of them die, but that was a fair trade. 2 probes down is something that ShoWTimE will live with every day if it means 2 Banelings. Cost efficient wise, that is really bad for Dark. Bringing in additional Banelings though. That's a lot of Banes. 18 Banes coming in, a lot of Hydralisks. How are their upgrades on the Hydralisks? They have no attack upgrades at all. One's on the way, but no Carapace upgrades either. Surprisingly enough. All right, so coming on in. Pretty intense attack. Nice force fields. Good stasis ward. Catching some of these Zerglings. Can't go that way, Dark says. Let's swing around back to the third base and see what damage we can get done here. There is a nice wall, so the Zerglings can't find much purchase. The Hydras are going to have to break this thing down before really anything can be done by Dark's army, and there is just no Storm here. There's no splash except for a single Archon against this particular position. Amazing force fields, though, really keeping the Banelings away from his army, lifting and killing a couple of Banelings on that side. Again, just keeping Dark away with infinite force fields on these sentries, keeping this warp gate alive just barely. Overseer almost gets picked off by the Phoenix, but not quite. Good control there by Dark, keeping it alive. Changeling trying to wander in. They get killed before they can even changeling themselves into a Zealot, which is hilarious. Observer here scouting things out before he too gets picked out of the sky. It's 171 to 155 supply. ShoWTimE is not looking to be in a very particularly great position, but he's making High Templar. He's working on Storm now, and that's what he's going to need to deal with this largely Hydralisk Ling Bane army. And by largely, I mean that's everything that he has. Lings, Hydralisks, and Banes trying to fly in with Phoenix. And once again, to do something, but 2 Queens here stabbing away. A little bit more difficult to get work done. 4 are even worse. Another attack coming in. This is looking extremely dangerous for ShoWTimE. Hydra's attacking in. This is just immortal. The force fields catching the Banelings in a little donut of death there. Fantastic display of force field mastery here by ShoWTimE, the best Protoss player who is not Korean in the entire world. He is really holding his own against Dark right now. I am actually shocked he's been able to do this without Storm, mind you. He hasn't thrown down a single Storm yet. 4th base on the way from ShoWTimE. Phoenix just hanging out, not really doing much at this stage. Both players around 400 APM at this stage of the match. Archon with 6 kills. He's the only splash damage in this army, mind you. Actually, no, the High Templar have enough energy for Storm, and they have Storm research. Dark splitting up for a double-pronged attack, going for the 3rd base. Stasis catches a single Zergling, and then coming up for the 4th base as well. This is going to be incredibly dangerous for our Protoss player right now. Can they take down the 4th base? It looks like they might think about another dancing back, and this army dancing back as well. So they don't want to engage here all that much. An attack in the middle. Oh, some drop lords getting absolutely massacred by those Phoenix. Are you kidding me? Wow, amazing play. Does finish off that other one, manages to get out with his Phoenix. Oop, careful, almost flying over those Hydras. One of them does get picked out of the sky, but then using good angles to fly in ways to where the Hydralisks cannot find them. So 4th base lives by ShoWTimE. 3rd base lives too, despite that double-pronged attack stuff that our friend Dark was going for. He's going for the Lurker Tech now, but that Immortal count is high enough. I'm not sure that Lurker Tech is necessarily what you want to do here. 9 Banelings in production. We also have a Fleet Beacon coming in from ShoWTimE. That's got to be Carrier. There's nothing else you'd want to use against this army. You don't want Tempest. Tempest are horrendous against Lingbane Hydra. They are amazing against Broodlord and pretty bad against everything else in the game. I don't know about coming down here. I really don't. Those Hydras can sit up on that high ground and just rain destruction and death upon you. That said, working out. Baneling drop. Yep, Baneling drop in the natural base. Going to go for the same thing here at the 3rd. We'll see if ShoWTimE recognizes this happening or not. He is not absolutely seeing this. Wabam and wabam. Thank you. 25 probes killed. It's 70 to 45 workers. Another base has come up by Dark along the left side at this 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock position, really. Zealots trying to march on up here. How are the upgrades on the Zealots? They got +2 attack, and they've got charge, which is pretty good. Can they take them this hatchery before the respawning Zerglings can get rid of them is the question of the day, and I don't think they can. This is a lot of Zealot, but a lot of Zergling too. And can they take down the hatch? No! It is wounded, though. 270 hit points, which is not great. Oh, going for the Baneling drops on the army? Is that the plan? I mean, he saw the drop lords. He has to be prepared for this on some level, right? Oh, thinking about it, thinking about what to do. Another Overlord goes down. Dark is not going to be supply blocked anytime soon. He's up. Good storms on the Overlords, picking them off. Baneling's landing on these Immortals, trying to get them on top of the High Templar, but no, nice micro by ShoWTimE, getting them out of the way. And shield batteries healing everybody up. That was incredibly well held by ShoWTimE there. He has begun carrier production, officially happening at this Stargate right here inside the main base, tagging most of the army of Darks with a revelation. But these Lurkers are the big thing. Can the Immortals handle these Lurkers? I want to say they can. Nice storms, keeping everybody away. Zerglings running through Storm a little bit, not something that they want to do in any sense of the word. So just pretty good composition here. He's got Immortals, he's got Zealots and Stalkers, he's got Phoenix, he's got Storm. Against what we're seeing here from Dark, which is going to be Lurkers. The Immortals should handle that. The Storm should handle the Zerglings and the Banelings. And then Carriers kind of clean up after that. There's really not much anti-air to this army at all. There are 6 Hydralisks on the ground. You do have to morph Hydralisks to make Lurkers, so that explains where all the Hydras went. Is that digging claws? Holy smokes, it's digging claws. Now, decreasing the amount of time it takes for a lurker to burrow, which is kind of incredible. So yeah, it's only 6 Hydralisks. There's a Spire coming in. I have to assume that's going to be for Corruptor at some point. Corruptor is going to be your answer against carriers every day, especially if you can use Vipers to yank them in. What was the word tastosis? They were using a word. It wasn't abduct, and it wasn't yoink. It was... Can't remember what word they were using during the cast as another base comes up for ShoWTimE. It was another ZVP that I was watching. It wasn't abduct. It was... I am spacing. I just watched it too. Anyway, it was funny. Somebody will remember. Somebody out there also watched the BlizzCon. Zerglings do find this attempt by a 5th base at ShoWTimE. They're going to try to shut it down, but there's only 2 of them. Oh, Immortals! Are these Sacrificial Immortals? I think that might be Sacrificial Immortal just to allow more carriers to be built. Zealots coming up to finish off this 9 o'clock hatchery, which they couldn't do previously, if you remember. This time around, though, it's going to be very, very close. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. They get it before they get evaporated by those lurkers. That burrow time is hilarious. Anything that decreases the amount of time it takes for something to transform is amazing. Burrow for me, so it's funny. They're not going to do it. There's no reason to burrow, Falcon. Why would they do that for you? I don't actually know. Yep, 5 Corruptors on the way to deal with these carriers. It's going to come down to, can the carriers get picked off? Or are they going to stay alive to just pretty much rain destruction down upon everybody here? This base is in a lot of trouble by ShoWTimE. This 3 o'clock position, Zerglings, Hydra, Baneling here, but nope, the carrier group has arrived and they chase it away. Dark swinging back around, another group of lurkers just wandering right on in to the 3rd base, and they're going to do terrible, terrible damage to the 3rd base. The 5th base of ShoWTimE is going to die here as well. What can he save here? The lurkers do get chased away. Carrier recall to the 3rd base, but that's not enough to save the 5th base, and it does explode in that gout of blue flame that we all know and love. Warping in a bunch of Zealots to deal with these Zerglings and Hydras and Banelings. The Banelings are not getting on top of the Zealots. It's a little bit... it's not really working out for them at all. The Hydras, however, are able to stand back and deal with it. Just delay enough time for the carriers to show up. Another Revelation tossed down on that army. 9 more probes have died. That set at 57 and 57 and 63 workers in favor of Dark, but not as much as you would expect. He's got another hatchery here inside in the middle of the map. It's more High Templar. How many High Templar just came in? A lot of High Templar came in to turn themselves into Archons is what it is. So Dark's 6th base here does get wiped out fairly quickly by ShoWTimE. Nicely done. Reducing the income and the unit production ability of the army. Some Spore Crawlers are here. Is he diving on in for it? Storms all over the place. This engagement is going pretty darn well for ShoWTimE. The Storm's blanketing those Corruptors. Transfuses from the ground. Trying to keep them alive as well. Immortals on the ground just getting picked off by Hydras as they retreat. But then the carriers are present. Some Changelings on the ground scouting everything that is Zerg for some reason. I'm not sure what that was all about, but the 3rd base is under assault by the army. Feedback on one of the Queens, and then Storms going down on Hydralisks, Storm on Corruptors. Is there enough anti-air to get rid of these Corruptors? The Storm is going to have to be enough. I'm afraid, out of ShoWTimE. Archons on the ground. Have they done anything? Not much. They're killing Creep Tumors. They're pulling back. It's 171 to 179 supply. 16 more Zerglings in production. Got additional High Templar in production here too. And just being extremely patient. Here is ShoWTimE. He's got 13 kills on one of these carriers, 7 kills on another one, 20 kills on that Immortal, 15 kills. Immortals are a good unit, man. They're a really good unit. I keep thinking this is stuff, but it's just Changeling. But it's red nevertheless. I don't know. I guess I understand why they do it. Again, storming all of the Hydralisks. They do not last very long in this engagement at all. The Corruptors are more of a concern here for ShoWTimE, but the Archons on the ground able to shoo them back. A lot of these Corruptors are pretty darn injured. We can see a lot of orange and red there on the bottom right of your screen. Resources lost, 27,000 for Dark, 22,000 for ShoWTimE. Zerglings coming into the try to take down the 5th base of ShoWTimE again, but once forced to retreat by a nice warping of Zealots. The Zealots are sitting on +3 attack, +2 shields, and no armor upgrades at all for ShoWTimE. It doesn't feel like it's a good use of his resources, it turns out. Revelation on these lurkers. Got +2 flyer attack coming in from Dark here too. Immortals are trying to finish off this hatchery. They're sacrificial. They're not going to get it, but they're going to wound it again. Down to 200 hit points on this 9 o'clock position. Not a good place to be a hatch, man. ShoWTimE has some very specific grudge about that position. The 6th base is going to die. It's just coming down, and the might of the Protoss Armada is here. He left it alone. He's going to send Zealots in to finish it off, maybe? He's actually going to kill all of these drones. The Corruptors coming in can't do anything about that. And there it is, forcing a cancel on the 6th base. Again, oh, the Lurkers are in a lot of trouble, though. They're here without much support. Sure, there are some Spores and some Hydras, but this is a lot of carrier, and they just don't care about this number of Spores. That's amazing. Zealots getting cleaned out here. Corruptors dive bombing in again, getting stormed right in the face. 12 drones going down. Lurker count is down to 5, where it was closer to 12 or so previously. 181 to 130 supply. ShoWTimE is starting to pull ahead right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the foreign German hope. Can he do it against Dark? More Overlords getting picked off. Baneling's morphing in, getting picked off before they can finish morphing in. Overlord's dying here too. The 3rd base is going to die, and it doesn't look like Dark wants to engage with his army at all. It's 193 to 111 supply. Another hatcheries goes down. Trying to come over here and kill this base with some lurkers. Burrowing so quickly, though. Another engagement, going to take down the 4th base of Dark. Drones full on evacuating from that position. It is not looking good at all for Dark. 11 drones have been killed. It's 61 to 29 harvesters. The lurker attack has been rebuffed a little bit here by the Zealots from ShoWTimE's base at the 3 o'clock position. That's going to be his 5th for sure. Dark is going to lose this hatchery. Parasitic bomb on top of carriers. I don't think they really care all that much. One of them gets picked off quite nicely. Once again, the storm on the Corruptors, and that's a good game. Dark taps out, and ShoWTimE is your winner in 21 minutes and 55 seconds. Wow. What an absolutely ridiculous ZVP there. ShoWTimE making it happen. Both players losing so much. 41,000 resources lost by Dark compared to 32 for ShoWTimE. These carriers, 15 kills, 25 kills, 12 kills on them. The Corruptor's not quite enough to handle this. Actually, could they have handled this? There are 7 of them and 4 carriers. I mean, that's pretty much what was left of the army of Dark at the time, though. 145 to 32 supply. All of his mining is dead. This base is dead. This base is dead. This base, all gone. And he recognized that he couldn't kill ShoWTimE's 5th, and he couldn't get rid of his 3rd, and economically, it was time to tap out. Time to play again another day. What a display of Protoss out of ShoWTimE here. Boss for sure. Hoorah! Storms really played a huge role there. Immortals, 33 kills and 30 kills. I swear you click on an Immortal at any point in late game, and they're just going to have a million kills. 28 kills and 17 kills on these Archons. There were no Swarm Hosts. There were no Brood Lords. There's no tiny little free units they gorged themselves on. These are just straight up killing Zerg units. 17 kills on that guy, too. It's really 17 and 17? And they both have 172 shields? What? It's very strange. They're so similar. Maybe they're twins. Could be twinner Archons. Also, they look very weird. Oh, very strange. Once the game's over, it kind of removes the shields, and they're just kind of like floaty, capey things. Very flat, actually. Look how flat they are from the side. Anyway, enough jabbering. I got to get on with this. All right, well, that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.